Hello. Welcome to this episode of the Rogers Radio Podcast. Today is going to be so much fun because we have Joey Rogers here in the studio ready to answer a bunch of questions that he has no idea what they are. Are you excited, Joey? Welcome.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. This is the best birthday surprise that I could ever get. All these surprise questions, I have no idea what they are, but hey, let's get it.
Yes. So you have a birthday, February 9th. So it's when this airs, it'll be tomorrow is going to be your birthday. So I want to know, February 9th, how old are you going to be and what are you most excited about for this new year?
Well, I'm most excited. I think this will be the biggest growth year for Rogers yet. So yeah. I'm fired up about that. Doing all the planning stages of that. So pumped up, ready for summer, ready for it to get hot. About tired of the rain and the cold. But other than that, I'm fired up.
And you're going to be how old?
33.
34, Joey.
34.
34.
Right. I stopped counting at 25. It is what it is.
You're 25 now. Forever?
Yeah.
Okay. 25 was a good year.
Yeah.
I knew you at 25.
I don't even worry about it.
Okay. Well, I'm excited. So this episode is exciting for me, and I'm a little nervous because I don't know what you're going to say. Are you a little nervous because you don't know the questions coming for you?
A little bit. We'll see. Hopefully you don't have to censor anything.
Oh, gosh. Guys, if you listened to the first time I had Joey on the podcast, which was, I think, like episode 2 or something, very early on in the podcast, at the end you heard me say I was breaking out in hives because you were saying some stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And here we are again. I actually let him back on, and so I have no idea. But now we're videoed,
Absolutely.
So they're actually going to see me
I'm excited
break out in
this.
hives.
Yeah, I'm pumped up about this. And we can start this thing off like one of my key sayings. Let's let me get my key quote, my live-by quote back here is don't be a little bitch. So I'm proud to have this sign shown. This is what I live my life by. When I don't want to go to the gym, I say, Joey, quit being a little bitch. When I don't want to get up and rock and roll like we're supposed to, I say, Joey, quit being a little bitch. It's a driver in my life. I love it. I live my life by it.
Yes, and you said that on the podcast when we first had you on, and that's what I was breaking in hives about. Now we have a sign that I get to look at every day. So it's great. It's great, and we have it on the podcast. It's fabulous. So what we're going to do today is I have reached out to our entire team, and I told them that I was going to interview you, and they were to submit questions to ask you. And so you have to answer them. So we have multiple questions in this hat. I'm going to just randomly pick them out of this hat from our team members, and you're going to answer the questions. Are you excited?
This ought to be interesting.
Yes, and I'll tell you who asked the question too.
Right.
Okay? They're not too terrible. I think
right.
You'll like them. Okay? Do you want to pick them out, or do you want me to pick them out?
No, you help yourself.
Okay. All right, you ready for question 1? And I don't know what order these are going to be in either, guys. Okay. Oh, mine! Yay! My question.
All
okay.
Right.
Looking back from when we started this journey of Rogers Heating and Cooling, did you envision yourself sitting where you are today?
No. When we started out, I had no idea the company would grow this fast. And now I look, it's like every time we set a goal, it's probably never big enough. So what I have learned is you need to set your goals way bigger. So we've gotten to here a lot quicker than I ever thought humanly possible.
Yeah, and I like to tell the story of, just when we were at our first home and we decided we were going to do this, and sitting at the table and trying to envision, okay, we just need to sell this many heat pumps, and we just need to do this to get to this goal, and we had all of these goals, and then we hit them, and it's just amazing because I look back to where we were, and literally, if you just talk about what you want and put a plan together, it's achievable.
Oh yeah, so, anything's possible.
So you did not envision yourself sitting here today?
No.
Okay.
It's been an absolute honor to go through this journey with you, though.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, that's very sweet.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else either, Joey.
Thanks.
That's today, maybe not tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Okay, this question is from Lina.
All right.
So, being a business owner, what advice would you give to someone just starting their own business?
I would say learn everything humanly possible about your business and what problem it solves for others. When you can master those two things, and then you can really serve people at a high level, they'll keep coming back, and you can actually, be able to stay in business. So that was my biggest piece of advice if you're just starting out. Like, make sure that you know what you're doing, what you're getting yourself into, and you have all the data, facts, and all that together to make sure that you're making good decisions and you're not getting yourself into a position to where you're going to go out of business.
Facts. I agree with you, Joey. Good advice. Okay, next question is from Candy.
All right.
What is your greatest strength? And then what is your weakness? And what are you doing to improve it? So what's your greatest strength?
I'd say my greatest strength, I thrive under pressure, I feel like. I love to go in intense situations and when everything's on the line and try to fix all of that. That's where I thrive at. I love those type of situations. Probably my biggest weakness, I may have I don't know the polite way to put it. I may be a little bit too direct or a little bit too brash or come off a little aggressive. So that's probably my biggest weakness.
And what are you doing to improve that weakness?
I don't know. I just I try to get better every day, but I feel like everybody needs to be their self to a certain extent because I feel like that personality and has got us to where we're at. I feel like I like to drive, I like to push, and but I've tried to learn how to communicate a little more professionally. Than I used to. So I have improved.
Totally agree with that.
Mm.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes, you are improving every day.
Right. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. And I think you've kind of learned my look now. Like, when I look at you with that, like, piercing look, it's like, zip it.
Yeah.
Zip it now. Yeah.
Sometimes I still get out of line. She keeps me straight. If it wasn't for her, I'd be in big trouble.
No, I tell him all the time. When, like, I am so hard on Joey or you, like, I am so hard on you. And sometimes Joey will be like, golly, like, you're just rough. Like, why are you being like that? And I tell him, if I'm not hard on you, no one else will be. Like, I have to take that. Like, I have the responsibility of being super hard on you because who else is going to be super hard on you?
Yeah.
So I got to hold you accountable. Right. Yes. And you're hard on me.
Absolutely.
It's vice versa.
Yeah. You and my poster.
Yeah. Exactly. The next question is from Kenny. Hey, right. Kenny. Video. He's in here too with us. If you could go back in time and change anything, what would it be?
If I could go back in time and change anything, what would it be?
Yes.
Huh.
You stumped him, Kenny.
I know. If I could go back in time and change anything, I don't know. I really don't think about the past a lot. Really, my main focus is where we're headed and what's the quickest way possible we can get there. And I know Alyssa calls me a tornado, so it's really not good for me to look backwards. It really puts me in a place that I really maybe not want to think about. It puts me in a bad mindset. So I try to stay focused on what's forward and try maybe not to focus so much on what has happened.
Yeah, and I mean, if anything were to change, I guess we wouldn't be where we are today, right? I mean, those hard times, you learn from them and go from there.
Yeah.
But I will say, you do move on really quick. Like, you do not hold a lot. Like, even, like, if we have a disagreement, I'm, like, lingering on, like, still upset with you. And you've, like, moved on hours ago.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you're done? Like, this is it? And I keep coming back to it. You're like, I'm done. It's over. So a lot of people need to know that about you. You do not, like, hold grudges. You don't hold things for long at all. You're, like, moved on. You've said your piece. You're done.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to be because, all right, maybe that's where the directness comes from, is saying, all right, I'm not happy with this. I'm gonna let you know about it. But after that, I'm done. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm not still thinking about it. It's over. We talked about it. Everything's good.
Yeah.
So there's no other, there's no hard feelings after that. So,
yeah, very much so. Lindsay has the question. You have a very close bond with each and every team member. What does that mean to you? And how do you handle things in your head when you have to make tough decisions? So what does it mean to you to have a close bond with everyone on the team?
Well, that's my number one priority. So, when I wake up in the morning, my number one goal is, how can I help our team achieve what they need to achieve? How can I help the team achieve what the company needs to achieve? How can I help the team achieve what they can, even outside of work? How can I help them achieve their goals? I mean, that's what drives me. That's my number one goal. And the only way to be able to accomplish that is build relationships with each and every team member. And that takes time. But I always try to make it a point to build a relationship with each team member and do everything I can to help them grow professionally, personally, and financially. That's very important to me. As the company's gotten bigger, it's harder to do and develop as a closer relationship with everybody as you'd like to, but it's still a very important priority for me to have a relationship with everybody that works here.
Yeah, and so what goes through your head, because tough decisions have to be made all the time regarding the business or anything going on. So what's going on in your head when you have to make those tough decisions, because you have so many people that depend on you and that you have a close relationship with here?
Yeah. I always make every decision on 3 different factors, and it's how does it affect the team member, how does it affect the customer, and how does it affect the company? And I look at everything at a triangular level like that, and then I make the decision based on that factor.
And I've even heard you ask many people in the organization when they have a problem or something going on, you ask those 3 questions.
Yes.
And it is, when you start using that, you can seriously make some great decisions based on that.
But every one of my decisions is based off of those 3 questions. That's what goes through my head. It's nothing complex about it. I ask myself those 3 questions. I get answers for them, and then I make my final decision off of those answers.
Yeah, I love it. Next question from Ryan.
All right.
Where do you see Rogers in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, so Rogers should be somewhere, I'd say, about 120 employees in 5 years. So we're looking at some pretty substantial growth.
And we have 34 right now.
Yeah, 34 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we'll really start to regionalize at that point and open up multiple locations. So that's where Rogers will be in 5 years, and continuing to develop people to be their best self at home and at work.
Yes. Yeah. Kayla, this is a kind of a different direction. Mm-hmm. She asks, if you were on a deserted island, what 3 things would be your must-have? And people are excluded. So what 3 things would you have to have on that private island?
On a private island?
Well, a deserted island. I'm sorry. A private island is a deserted island.
On a deserted island.
Yeah.
All right.
You can only have 3 things.
Yeah, I'd have to have shoes, for one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like walking barefoot anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Next, definitely need shade or sunscreen.
Oh my gosh. Sunscreen? You can have 3 things. Sunscreen and shoes. Okay, what is the 3rd?
Water and food. I'm good. That's the 3 things I need.
Heck? Okay. All right. Kayla's asked this question before too, so I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
If your house was on fire and you could only grab 3 things, people excluded, your family's fine, everything is fine, but your house and your belongings, what 3 belongings would you take?
3 belongings?
Yeah. Nothing? You care less?
I grab my phone.
Yes. That's number 1 for me.
Other than that, probably a water out of the fridge or something, I'd be good.
So you're not a things person.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I really don't have anything that, you know, be a make or break for me. Like, is this?
I mean, we do have like our wedding pictures and stuff.
We can reprint them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Next question. Caroline asks, I like this question.
All right.
If you were to write a book, what would you write about?
If I were to write a book, what would I write about?
Yeah, what would the book be about?
Well, eventually, I mean, we probably will write a book, but it would definitely probably be husband and wife duo in business and how to navigate that and how to be successful and you know making a marriage and a family successful as long as you know as well as a business and all the team members successful and you know getting on the same page and getting all those priorities intact to be able to successfully do that and find happiness in it because none of it's easy and you got to have the right mindset and you got to be on the same page for it to actually work.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Okay, that would be good. We need to get on that.
Yeah.
Yes. Next question. Alon asks, these are all really good questions. Were there times as a growing company where things didn't seem promising? And in those times of discouragement, what kept you going?
Yeah, I like that question. And, you know, it goes back to that first question you asked. It was the first or second question, I can't remember. About what advice I would give somebody starting a company. And anything in life is going to be discouraging. So I want everybody to understand that. I don't care if you're just working a job or if you're running a company or you're an entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, you know, you're going to get discouraged. But it's just how do you take it? You know, it's all a mindset thing. So if you get your mindset right and know that it's not if things are going to get bad, it's when they're going to get bad. And how can I do to prepare for those? What can I do to prepare myself for those things? You know, if you constantly focus on those, which we've always tried to do, and we've always had the attitude of this is never going to fail. Like whatever it takes, we're going to make this work. You know, no matter what's against us, we're going to make this happen. We're going to make this work. Is me and you are 100% committed.
Yeah.
We don't have any other sources of income or jobs or this or that outside of Rogers. So that's what you call 100% committed. That's when you are fully committed into making something. You don't have another choice. And we have so many other team members' lives at stake too. You know, they come to work and want to be successful. And we've always took that as our personal responsibility to make sure that we're providing as good opportunities as we possibly can. So discouraged, very few times I've been discouraged enough to you know, really let it get to me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Danielle asks, if HVAC hadn't been in your family and wasn't an option, so you cannot do anything regarding the trades, let's say, what would you be doing today? What would you want to be? And I know, you know, okay, so when they ask this question, they say he's going to try to dodge this because he's so passionate about it and he's going to find a way to say something still, you know, related to the trades. But that's not an option.
So we have to pretend that the trades didn't exist.
Exactly.
Huh.
What would you be doing?
I don't know. Huh. That's a good question.
Like you had never been introduced to it. It's just not an option for you.
I don't know. It's something in me that is called to serve other people. It's always been there.
Yes.
Where that I like to be in the service of others. Whether that be our customers. It started off when we were very small. It was our customers. But now I like to be in service of our team and make sure that they're getting everything they need. I've always enjoyed being needed or being in the service of others. So it would definitely be something in that line of work, you know, wherever that may may have taken me.
And you'd be a great lawyer.
Yeah.
You would be a great lawyer.
I don't know. Well,
you would be.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree.
Yeah, I'm pretty argumentative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what did you want to? You wanted to be something else, didn't you? At one time, like a game warden or something. Did you want to be a game warden one time?
No, I think it was something like a forestry, something
yes.
of that nature. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be a game warden.
No. No.
Okay. No. Great. This is the last of these questions.
All right.
Okay. But I have some more.
All right.
But from the team. So this one's from Brian.
All right.
At what age did you decide you wanted to build a company like Rogers is today?
It didn't start off that way.
I know, yeah.
I grew up in the trades, and the trades seemed like something that, I was interested in. I didn't even, pursue it my first year in college. And then decided it's something, all right, well, I've been working in the trades for a while before I started college. I really like it. So then I finished school for it and worked in the field, in the trades for a while. And then, think, hey, let's try this business thing. And then just kept working in the trades. And I think you brought home a book, Ron Smith, HVAC Spells Wealth. And I read that book and simply just started implementing the principles from that book, and that's what got us to where we are today, which other things, of course, did that. But, I didn't know anything about business. I had no idea what I was doing when we started this whole journey. I had no idea.
I'm still shocked that we're here.
Right.
Yeah.
But this has been a constant growing, growing yourself every single day to get us to where we're at right now. Like every single day I come to work and try to learn something new. I read something about HVAC. I read something about business. I read something to bring to the team to help make them better, because if I'm not raising my leadership ability, or if I'm not raising my, capacity, then our team, is not going to raise theirs. So that's what I focus on. But none of this started off like this.
No.
It started off as like, hey, let's put some heat pumps in. This seems like fun.
Yeah.
It didn't. I had no idea. It's like, oh, well, let's grow a huge air conditioning company, because it has nothing to do with putting heat pumps in.
Right.
That's what we do, but it's not how you get there. Like, that's a service of our company. Like, we provide that as a service, but it's so much more that goes into it to do it on a large scale.
Do you feel like we'd be farther ahead right now or bigger right now if you didn't know how to do HVAC? If you didn't know the trade, like the skill, if you didn't have the skill? Because you started in the field. Like, you've been in the field for a long, long time. And it's just been the last couple years that you've, kind of stepped out of it.
If I knew a lot more about business when we started and a lot less about HVAC, I would be in a much better position. But I was the opposite. I knew a lot about HVAC and very little about business. I think you're fully capable if you have a very good understanding of, a business and how an organization is supposed to be grown and, processed out and scaled. If you have that knowledge about you can grow any company. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. But having the knowledge of the industry definitely helps. But if you don't know anything about business, if you don't go out there and read and learn and surround yourself with people that know a lot about how an organization is supposed to operate, you're flirting with a disaster.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a fact. And nobody's born knowing this stuff. You have to go out. You have to find people. You have to read books. You have to constantly find ways to, go to market and make your company better. If you're not doing that, you're getting left behind. Like, you got to go after it every day like that. Or somebody else is. Yeah. I guarantee you that. Somebody else is. So if you're not, they're going to leave you behind.
Yeah. And something that really stuck out to me that you have said in here to a few of us, but you talked about success. And you asked everyone, what is success to you? What does it look like? and everyone was saying, oh, success looks like this, and a nice car, a nice house, all the things. And you said, but what does success feel like? How does it make you feel? Let's take away the things and let's talk about the feeling. And so I want to know, what does it feel like for you? And I know you're never going to feel like you made it. You can be huge and have, be nationwide, and you're still not going to feel like you made it or that you're successful. But how does it make you feel?
Right. And, I think, the disconnect there for a lot of people, and like you were saying, is a lot of people embrace what their version of success would be, material things, nice stuff, this, that, all of that, and they focus on that item, and where you go wrong, or how you actually get that item. You start focusing on what you have to do to acquire that. Mm-hmm. It's not about what that is, or if I may never have that. It's like, what steps do I have to take to be at a level where that's a reality for me? Mm-hmm. And then we have to embrace that process. And that's what I love. You gotta actually love the process of getting to that point. You can't just sit back and like, I wish I had that. It's like, you can have that. I'm a firm believer you can have anything in this world that you want. But it's like, okay, if my goal is to own a huge home, well, the first thing I need to do is probably go talk to somebody who owns a huge home and ask them how they got it, what they have to do to get that. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, well, now I need to mimic that process, because that's how I get it. It just doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen overnight. It's steps that we have to take, and we have to embrace that process. We have to embrace that struggle to be able to obtain those things. And that's what success is. It's about loving the process. It's not about loving the actual thing. Because once you embrace and love that process, the thing no longer matters. Yeah. The material thing it's just a thing. It doesn't matter. We can buy another one of those or this or that. None of that matters. It's about the actual process. That's what real success is.
Yeah. I love that. And of course, I ask this on every podcast, and you were on here before, and your dinner person was Ken Goodrich, which is great. Has that changed at all? If you could have dinner with one living person outside of your family, who would it be? Would it still be him, or has it changed over the last 6 months?
Well, Ken's book, The E-Myth, really, opened my eyes to a lot of different things, and I give it credit for, getting the company moving in a great direction, because I started implementing things in that book. But man, I tell you, I really would love to have dinner with Grant Cardone. I really admire what he's been able to accomplish and the movement he's created with his organization. And actually, this poster is one of his quotes. So I mean, it if you want to be in business and you want to be able to create impacts throughout your organization and with your customers, you have to go to market with a don't be a little bitch mentality. Like, you have to get up, you have to get dirty, you have to put your shoulder pads on, and you got to go hit something. I mean, nobody's going to do it for you. Like, you got to get out there and do it. And quit complaining about it and embrace it. Like, this is what I have to do. This is part of the process. You're not going to do it on the sofa. Like, you're not going to do it on the sofa. Like, get up and go after it. And I love it. I love the mindset. And, if you're not familiar with, Grant, and you want to do big stuff, like, follow him, see what he's all about. And, it's great stuff.
Absolutely. And I'm going to do a little bit of rapid fire for you. All right. So you got to answer these questions quick. Do not think about them too deep, okay?
Who made these questions first?
I did. Well, actually, Googled rapid fire questions.
These are Google rapid fire
Yes.
questions.
Are you excited?
Like, what was the Google search term? Google rapid fire questions?
Yeah, pretty much.
There wasn't like a...
Yeah, and they came up with like 300 of the best ones, but I only took like a couple. Okay?
Great. All right.
I mean, it's good. You're fine. Don't be a little bitch. Oh my gosh, I just said that! I said it!
Yeah.
Okay.
What is this, like Steve Harvey's show? What is it like? Hit the button? What is that, Family Feud or something?
No, they're not that bad.
Okay.
Okay. Real quick.
Uh-huh.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Blue?
You said rapid fire.
Okay,
I said
sorry.
the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Favorite food?
Steak.
Steak. Favorite thing to watch on TV?
Yellowstone.
Favorite saying?
Quit being a little bitch.
Mm-hmm. Motto you live by?
Quit being a little bitch.
Favorite holiday?
July 4th. No Memorial Day. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Hot holidays. What habit holds you back the most? Take it too long.
Too much going on at once.
Okay.
Trying to focus on too many things at once.
One person who inspires you.
Brandon Dawson.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be? You're taking too long. You're taking too long.
A superpower?
You can have a superpower.
Teleporting.
Of course. Like,
Yeah.
how did you not think of that?
I just.
Okay. If you could make one wish
I'm not good at this rapid fire stuff. Come on. It's like.
You gotta. This is what happens to you all day. People are coming to you, and you're rapid
Yeah,
firing all day long.
All right.
Okay, last question. If you could make one wish come true, what would it be?
One wish come true. What would it be?
Yes.
I-
You don't have any wishes in life.
No, I don't wish for things. I follow the process.
You follow the process.
Yeah. Wishes don't work. You ever seen somebody wish for something? Wish.
Explain this. That was the last one. So explain this.
All right. Like I said, you got to get off the sofa. You can't wish for a better life. Like, go get it. You can't wish it. Okay. It's the same. It's like, you got to go after it. Like, if you wish for it, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
You got to put in the effort. I mean, even if you pray for it, it's not going to happen. You have to put in the effort, even if you pray for it. Like, you got to put in the effort.
Do you believe in manifesting?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, those are all the questions I have for you. Right. And I appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited for your birthday.
Yeah.
And
you talk, well.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Continue.
So,
okay.
When you talk about manifesting.
Yeah.
So this is really important to me.
Okay.
So everything in this organization has been manifested. Like, you can actually visualize it. Like, if you...
This is so true.
If you visualize it, it will happen. It may take a long time, and you got to follow a process. You visualize it. You pray for it. You think about it. You think about it every day. You make about everything. It will happen. I'm a firm believer in manifestation. It's just like this model jet here. This Roger logo model jet here. That may be 25 years from now. I have no idea. I hope we get it before then. But it's just part of manifestation. I look at it every day and it said, hey, one day that Roger's jet will be flying around to every location across the country. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
It's not today, but that's manifestation at work right there.
Yes.
You have to think about it. You have to visualize it. It will happen.
Yes.
The universe will work for you.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you would like any of our listeners to know today about you? Or any advice? This is your moment. I'm a little nervous. This is your moment, Joey. Go for it.
I'm going to try to keep it professional.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Okay. Go.
Yeah. My biggest piece of advice is find out what your true version of success is. Because it's different for everybody. But you're the only person that has to live with it. Right? So you pick out what that is for you. And you figure out, how do I get there? And how do I make the people around me better? That's what success is for me. How can I make people around me more successful? How can I make their lives better? Hey, if that's what success is for you, that's great, So think about that thoroughly and make incremental improvements over time. And next thing you know, you'll have everything you want in life. I'm a firm believer in that. And if you follow that principle, it'll work.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so great. Yeah. And thank you again for sharing all of this, and I'm glad that everyone gets kind of an inside view of you and what you stand for, and how you got to where you are today. So thank you for being here, and happy birthday to you.
Yeah, 34 is going to be great. We're going to go out and kill it. I hope y'all do too. Get busy and quit being a little bitch.
Yes, everyone, and you have heard it from him. Thank you so much for listening to the Rogers Radio Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please let us know about it by rating, reviewing, subscribing to the podcast so we can continue bringing this content to you every week. Talk to you next week. Bye.
Thanks for having me.